Good morning, good morning, good morning again, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused. You know the drill. Read the article. Share it on all your social media. We've also included NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, just in case the JRC ever does see through with their threat. Trigger warning 1. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to use your headphones. Number 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and we speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and older and they're watching this, parental supervision is advised, all right? Excuse me, allergies. It's too early for spring. Bring on summer. The pain ESDs cause is relevant because although ESDs are intended to apply an aversive stimulus, the pain they cause to develop the aversion is nonetheless harmful. In other words, it's not a good idea to try to torture or punish the disability out of a human being or the mental health issues out of the human being. It's this wonderful thing we call logic. All right. We also noted that the JRC does not include pain in its discussion of AEs caused by the device. Why is that not surprising? Here's our promotional materials. We think your kid needs to be on a human shock collar, but we're not going to provide you any kind of information regards to what kind of pain that device can put them in. Yet, when JRC's Dr. Nathan Blinkush was asked directly whether the stimulus causes pain, he answered yes. Pain as a mean of treatment. You have people like Dr. Matthew Israel arguing, but what about people and surgeries and all of that? And you just would stop them because of the potential pain and harm. No, doctor. There is a marked difference between those who prep for surgery and what you do. They do everything humanly possible that is within their power to make the person as comfortable and as pain free as humanly possible. You, on the other hand, do everything in your power in order to make that person uncomfortable as humanly possible and as much pain inflicted upon them as you can legally get away with. Big difference there. Huge. Just saying. People affiliated with JRC, including doctors Edward Sassman and Anthony Joseph, have stated that they observed no harms in many years of observing individuals subject to ESDs, so they appear not to consider certain adverse effects, including pain, to be harms. Here the fuck we go again. Neurotypical doctors. Just because when you see the device used, you do not recognize that particular autistic person's reaction to pain because you feel like it can't be possibly real pain unless it manifests outwardly in a way a neurotypical can understand is part of the whole goddamn problem. Okay? Pain hurts. It hurts whether it is displayed in a way your neurotypical ass can understand or not. You are inflicting pain on a human being because they were not born like you. And for you to sit there, but there was no real true harm. And here's another thing that pisses me off. Well, it didn't happen to me, so it must not happen at all, is one of the most naive, brain dead arguments on planet Earth. Just because it didn't happen to you doesn't mean it doesn't happen, you jackass. God, comment. Please, comment. It's time. You know what I mean? If a doctor tells you they're going to put your kid on the equivalent of a human shock collar, a one that is designed to cause pain, and they will tell you, I don't really see any harms in regards to the pain, get your child the fuck out of there. And for the love of God, file a medical malpractice lawsuit, because this is not how rational doctors behave. Doctors who pass off bruises, red marks, loss of feeling in certain areas have no business anywhere. They don't even belong to be a janitor in a ER, okay? Just saying. As stated in the proposed rules, such a view is in line with decades old research that considered pain or discomfort to be an indicator of effectiveness, which is insane. And it was also feeds into my previous video, this idea that because we autistics do not manifest the type of reaction that neurotypicals can understand, they believe that we have a higher threshold to be able to endure pain. It's pure, unadulterated, biological bullshit. And since then, we have a multitude of studies coming out of Columbia and otherwise similar minded universities that argues the point back that no, what is happening, what you are observing, is an autistic reaction to having pain inflicted on them. Many of us freeze up. That means we show no outward response whatsoever. It is literally deer in the headlights, and people have been misinterpreting that for decades as, well, obviously they're not feeling pain right now. It needs to end. However, this is not consistent with contemporary standards, so we conclude that pain caused by the devices is a harm. Far from overstating risks because they have not materialized into harms, we got ER documents. What the hell else do you want? If that's not enough, we got surveillance video footage. If that's not enough, we got multitude of DESI reports. If that's not enough, we have all the evidence that's been found in the multiple litigation cases against this place going back to before the goddamn 80s. What else do you want? Far from overstating risks because they have not materialized into harms, because that's not what's happened at all. The FDA believes that JRC has understated realized harms, and the proposed rule understated at the least degree of harm of pain, because the JRC believes the pain will make you well. The rest of society and the world has moved on from this point of view. Even the medical model realized how idiotic of an idea it was, that just because my reaction to pain and yours is not the same means I somehow have a higher threshold of pain, to be completely illogical nonsense. And since then, the studies have been done to show exactly that it is nonsense. And now we're getting studies, treatment programs, what have you, in to help parents to be able to recognize their child's pain response so that they'll be able to react in time, before the sensory meltdown comes out. We're going to go ahead and close out with that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to utilize those comments. I appreciate your time this morning. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you in a few minutes.